Hello everyone, that manga kid here. I know this is a little bit late. We are already into 2018, but I did really want to make a video talking about my favorite new series that started releasing in 2017. I have two honorable mentions only because I have not actually read these volumes yet, but I know they would absolutely be um, favorites. And then I have four volumes that I have read that I really enjoyed and wanted to talk about. So first off, I've got Sweet Blue Flowers by Takako Shimura. This is a 2-in-1 Viz signature release, gorgeous publication, French flaps, color pages. There's more color pages in the middle. I have not read this yet, only because I don't want to read this and have to wait for the other volumes because I haven't bought volume 2 yet, and the other ones aren't released. So I just don't want to wait. I'd rather wait till I have at least one more volume before I read this. But I love Takako Shimura. She's the same author that did Wandering Sun, which is one of my favorite all-time series, which unfortunately is no longer being published here. And most of the volumes are way out of print, the ones that did get published. But this is a girls' love series about these high school girls who like each other. This is not a typical Yuri series. Takako Shimura does a very good job of representing LGBT characters in a realistic, sweet, and non-sexualized way. I have watched the anime for Sweet Blue Flowers many years ago, so I know that I love this story. I love Takako Shimura's artwork is very pretty. She's got the watercolor kind of stuff going on, and then very simple character designs and everything that I really love. So if I had read this, it absolutely hands down would be one of my favorites, but I haven't read it yet, so that's why it's only kind of an honorable mention here. And other one, same deal. This is Akka 13 Territory Inspection Department by Natsume Ono. I pre-ordered this like 4 months in advance. As soon as I realized it was being published here, I ordered it. If you can see I guess it's embossing or whatever there. I love Natsume Ono. I love everything I've read by Natsume Ono, which is every English release I own by her. I watched the anime for this as well and loved it. This is a political drama. It's going to be, I believe, 7 volumes long, or 6 or something like that. This is by Yen Press. Larger form factor size. Very, very expensive in Canada. These are like almost $20 for one volume. I won't be getting the next one very soon because I can't be bothered to pay even close to that price for one volume of manga. So I got this for a decent price, and that's why I have it. I will buy the entire series. I will love the entire series. I just can't spend that much money on one volume when there's so much other things out there to buy. But again, haven't read this because I don't want to get hooked and then have to wait. But absolutely, this would be one of my favorites if I had read it. Now on to stuff that I actually did read. This is Waiting for Spring by Anashin. This is a Kodansha release, just a standard size volume of manga. Not necessarily a reverse harem because all of the guys do not like the main girl, but this is basically about a girl doesn't have a lot of friends. She works at this cafe or something, and the basketball team boys, who are all really popular, happen to find out she works there, and then they start hanging out there. I have done a first impressions of the first 2 volumes of this series. Art is fantastic. I love it. It's really, really cute. I enjoyed this so much more than I thought. I thought this was just going to be super generic and I wasn't really going to enjoy it. I really love it, and I can't wait to get my hands on volume 3. I'm just waiting for the price to go down a little bit. Yeah, and the release schedule for this is quite quick. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading more of this, but definitely check out my first impressions video if you want a more in-depth about that. Next, I've got After Hours. This is by Yuta Nishio. This is a Yuri series. The release date for this is like a year apart. The next volume 2 doesn't come out until, I believe, June or something of this year, and this came out around June, July of this year, I believe. This is an interesting Yuri series, first of all, because it was the first one put out by Viz. Usually Yuri series are not, Viz doesn't really do that. Um, it's also interesting because these are adult characters. They're not high school girls. These are like the main girl, I believe her name's Emmy or something, is in her early 20s, and then this woman is a bit older than her, in her kind of mid to late 20s. So it's basically just about nightlife. This woman is a DJ, and she's kind of getting into that scene, going to clubs and hanging out with all of the other person's friends. Again, I've done a first impressions video about this, so go check that out if you haven't already. But this is really, really solid. I hope Volume 2 is just as good as this one. The art is really, really cool. And like I said, just a different take on Yuri, which I really appreciate. Next, got a Shonen Ai series, I Hear the Sunspot. This deals with disability, and it's a Shonen Ai series, so it is a bit like Boys Love, kind of. The art is very simple, really, really nice. This is released by One Piece Books, who released a little bit of manga, not too much, but looks like they're kind of getting into it a bit more. Very simple series. This is a one-shot. There is a second story coming out in February, I believe. February 20th, I think. So this is a standalone volume, but the author ended up making a second story. So it's not technically called Volume 1 and 2 or anything. It's just this is the volume, and then there's I Hear the Sunspot, and then like with a subtitle. So I have pre-ordered that, spoiler alert for future haul, but this was amazing. I read it the day I got it and loved it. It's so cute. These two are adorable together. It's about friendship and, you know, coping with a disability. This character here is, I believe he's partially deaf. So the main character here is just kind of like getting to know him and breaking down his walls, because he's kind of put a bunch of walls up that he doesn't want people to come in, because he kind of doesn't feel like he can handle relationships with people. And this main character kind of shatters all of that and brings him into his world. And they're in college, I think, which again makes this fascinating because they're slightly older. They're not high school students. As far as I remember, I could be remembering wrong, but I'm fairly certain they're in college. It's just really, really sweet. A really nice Shonen Ai series. Yeah, definitely recommend checking this out if you haven't already. And finally, probably my favorite release of the year is Jackass. This is a yaoi series by Scarlett Barico, released by Sublime. A little bit thicker than a regular volume. It's about a volume and a half. I love this. The month that I bought this, I did talk about it quite intensely in my haul video. I absolutely love this series. I had never heard of this author before. I bought this on a whim. I didn't know anything about it. I just saw the cover and went, I need to have this. I loved it. This is about this main character here who accidentally wears his sister's pantyhose, and his friend finds out and sees that, who he happens to have a pantyhose fetish. So this is the story of them discovering their sexuality through his fetish for pantyhose, as well as all of these other characters kind of coming to terms with or just exploring their own sexuality. So it's basically a bunch of gay slash bisexual guys exploring their sexuality in different ways, all connected together. They're all friends slash teacher students. Yeah, it's just they're all interconnected, and they're all coming to terms with their sexuality in different ways and at different times. And it's just wonderful. I had such a great time reading this. There is an explicit content warning for a reason. There is sex in this volume. I'm going to find some art that is not sexually explicit. Just give me a second here. The art is gorgeous. I absolutely love it. The characters are all really wonderful. And it's just a really, really good series. I really, really loved it. This is a bit more difficult than I thought it would be to find a non-sexual page. Okay, here we go. There is a story here. Like, I just find this to be a really, really good exploration of coming to terms with your own sexuality. There is, like I said, explicit scenes in it, but um, like he's so pretty. Like the art is just great. Anyway, Jackass, probably my favorite release of the year. This is hands down my favorite yaoi I think I've ever read, and I just really, really loved it. Definitely recommend you check it out if you like yaoi. It was so much fun, such a great uh, book because it wasn't just fan service for me at least. I really, really enjoyed how they told the different stories of all these different boys who were coming to terms with being gay. Yeah, highly recommend this one, as well as all the other stuff I showed in this video. I really loved all of these titles, and definitely hope that you guys give them a try if you haven't, or if you've picked them up and just haven't gone around to reading them yet. Definitely recommend you do. Well, that'll do it. These are kind of my favorite titles from 2017, and thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite 2017 releases were. I'd love to hear about it. Thanks for watching.